Mukherjee as well. But before that, let me just bring in some breaking news. Speaking at the G7 summit in Canada, German Chancellor Friedrich Merz on Tuesday said that Israel's attacks on Iran could lead to the demise of the Islamic Republic's leadership. Chancellor Merz said, and I quote, "I assume that the attacks of the last few days have already weakened the Mullah regime considerably, and that it is unlikely to return to its former strength, making the future of the country uncertain." Well, the latest swarms of attacks from Israel have reportedly destroyed Iran's Kashan police headquarters. Latest visuals from Iran also show that Kashan area has shown plumes of smoke rising from the police headquarters. Gautam Mukherjee, senior journalist, also with us on the program. Gautam, what sense do you make of this grouping? Obviously, there seems to be a lopsidedness to whatever is happening here. And, that is not what any grouping should be all about. G20, like a lot of our other panelists have also mentioned, including Madam Bhaswati Mukherjee, Joyita Basu and Keith and some of the others as well, is a grouping that shows a lot of composition in terms of growing the world, taking solutions out and having solutions to problems. But it seems that the G7 has a problem for every solution.
Well, the G7 is now 50 years old. It is really a Western club, which includes Japan as honorary Western. And it is somewhat harmonious as it stands because of that fact. Now, if you consider adding, for example, Russia, China, and India, you're not going to get unanimity any more than you do in the UNSC. China has a different outlook, so does Russia. Sometimes Russia and China have a common outlook, as in the UNSC. India wants to play with the West as well as with Russia, certainly, and not so much with China. But at the same time, it's in BRICS, it's in SCO, it's in a number of other organizations, ASEAN, and everywhere there is some degree of exceptionalism when it comes to India. For example, we didn't agree to the resolution on Ukraine, in the SCO, but we went along with a lot of things and didn't go along with some things. And this is what would happen to the G7 if it were expanded. To say that it is not representative, well, it's representative of the West. It's not representative of the world. Does it want to be representative of the world? Well, it invites a lot of people from the world. Now, when you say the G20 is the more representative forum, yes, certainly. There's lots of people in it. There's, the 20 plus the African Union, which itself is over 50 countries. It's G21, really. Now, would they agree on everything? It's doubtful. Some of them are the same members in the G7 who are also in the G20. Some of them are UNSC people. It's one thing to have a larger representative forum. BRICS has been expanded on the same basis. Will it be more cohesive? That's another can of worms. So it's not as simple as saying, why isn't India there? Does India really want to be there? It's quite nice for it to be invited to the outreach, still get a chance to have some bilateral meetings. The last point is that, the West is still digesting India's rise. It's well and familiar with China's rise as the second largest economy and an economy that most of them cannot do without. So they're used to China. India's come in out of the cold and is rising rapidly. They haven't come to terms with it. And, it's for colonial powers, essentially. It is a difficult thing to sit at the same table with people who have suddenly grown up, bigger than you. So this is the situation. It'll take some years after India hits number 3 position, for the West in particular, America, China, everybody to come to terms with it. It won't be a 4 trillion economy that they're going to be impressed with,
Okay.
but a 10,
All right.
12 trillion economy, they cannot.